Have you ever noticed how some people seem immune to chaos and stress, while others crumble under the slightest pressure? What do they know that you don't? Seneca revealed the secret over 1900 years ago. They're not special people. They simply practice 12 specific mental rituals that ancient Stoics developed to forge an indestructible mind. These rituals don't require hours of meditation or drastic changes to your routine. They're simple practices you can do in 15 minutes a day that will completely transform how you handle adversity, rejection, and failure. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment what part of the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Have you ever asked yourself why some days feel heavy, almost too hard to handle, while others feel a little easier? Each person, in their own way, faces moments when life feels difficult. Everyone, everywhere, knows what it is like to worry about the future, feel disappointed about something that happened, or fear what might go wrong. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you already feel stress just thinking about the tasks ahead. Maybe you worry if people will like you. Maybe you feel pressure at work or at home. You are not alone in feeling this way. These problems and these feelings are a normal part of being human. Stress enters life from many different doors. Sometimes it comes from your job, when there is too much to do or when things do not go the way you want. Sometimes it appears in your home through disagreements, expectations, or even silence that feels heavy. It can come from friends, family, or even from inside your own thoughts. Stress does not pick only certain people. It does not avoid anyone. Everyone at some point will feel burdened or anxious. It is easy to believe that other people handle their problems without trouble, that they do not know fear or confusion as you do. But this is not true. Every single person at some moment feels overwhelmed. These days, many people go from morning to night feeling hurried and worried. It begins early, maybe before the sun rises. You wake up and your mind quickly fills with lists of things to do. Tasks at work, caring for family, answering messages, remembering small details. Everything crowds together, asking for attention at the same time. By the time you have finished the first part of your day, you might feel tired, even before the day is halfway over. The body can become tense. Sometimes your heart beats faster, or you notice your hands feel cold. Maybe you find it hard to take a deep breath. All these signs show that your mind is carrying too much stress. Stress often does not leave when you come home. Sometimes it sits beside you as you eat dinner or try to relax. It can even follow you into sleep, making it hard to rest or making you wake up in the night. You might find it difficult to fall asleep, or you wake up feeling more tired than before. Stress can make the mind focus on bad thoughts, or small worries can become big in your imagination. This can affect your ability to enjoy time with the people you care about or to be present in a peaceful way. But here is the truth. Stress is a normal part of life. No one escapes it forever. This does not mean anything is wrong with you. You are not weak because you feel this way. You did not fail just because you worry or have fears. All people, even those who look very strong or calm, have days when they feel discouraged or tense. The world has always had problems. This is nothing new. Even many years ago, people talked about the stress of daily life. The forms and reasons may change, but the feelings remain much the same. The first important step is to see that everyone struggles with difficult moments. You are not alone in this. Maybe you have noticed that some people seem to deal with stress better than others. These people may appear calm when facing difficulties, while others easily become upset, sad, or angry when things go wrong. It is easy to think these calm people have something special, maybe a secret ability or a peaceful mind that you do not have. You might look at yourself and think, I am not like them. I cannot handle problems as they do. But this way of thinking is not right. No one is born ready for every problem. The ability to handle stress without suffering too much is a skill, not a gift. It is something that can be learned and practiced. This is very important to understand. You do not need any special talent. You do not need to be born with a quiet, gentle mind. You do not need to have perfect parents or an easy childhood. Your ability to handle stress is something that can grow, just like you can learn to swim or ride a bicycle. Of course, every person is different. Some people have had to deal with harder problems or have learned different lessons in life. Some people begin learning about themselves earlier, or they have more support. But no matter where you start, you can always get better at facing problems in a healthy way. There is always hope for every person, every day. Think about a simple example. A young child does not know how to tie their shoes at first. This is not because they are not smart, but simply because they have not yet learned. With a little help and with practice, soon they can do it alone. In the same way, you can learn new ways to handle difficult feelings and situations. You are not stuck as you are today. If you feel overwhelmed, anxious, or tired, there are steps you can take. Little by little, you can learn to face challenges with more calm. There is nothing fixed about how you react. The mind and the heart can grow stronger at any age. Sometimes, stress feels much bigger than it really is. The mind gets used to worrying, almost like it is watching the same movie again and again. But if you look closely, you will see that not all parts of life are stressful. Even during hard days, there are still small moments that feel quiet or gentle. Maybe you laugh for a minute with a friend. Maybe you enjoy a favorite song, or you sit down and drink your tea slowly. These small moments are signs that peace is possible, even if you feel anxious most of the time. It is easy to focus only on what feels bad, but when you learn to look for the good as well, you start to feel lighter. This way of thinking is not magic. It is something you practice, just like any other skill. The way you deal with stress is shaped by your habits and by your attitude. A habit is just something you do again and again, sometimes without thinking. If you have the habit of answering stress with panic or anger, your mind will turn in that direction whenever a problem appears. But with time, you can make a new habit. You can learn to answer stress with patience or with a quiet mind. At first, this may feel strange or difficult. That is normal. Just as a path across grass is formed one step at a time, your mind grows stronger with repeated small choices. Being calm does not mean you do not feel anything. It means you have learned to answer stress in a healthy way. Another thing to remember is that many people feel embarrassed or guilty about their worries. They think, I should be stronger, or I should not feel this way. But feeling stress does not make you bad or broken. It is simply a part of your experience. When you stop blaming yourself for your worries, you can use your energy to find real solutions, instead of spending it on shame or guilt. Some people try to ignore stress or push it away, hoping it will disappear on its own. They distract themselves with work or with television, with food or with their phones. Sometimes this helps for a short time, but often the stress stays underneath, ready to return. Other people try to control everything around them, thinking if they fix every detail, stress will go away. But some things are never in your control, no matter how hard you try. Life is full of surprises. There are always things you cannot change: the weather, other people's words, the past, or what will happen tomorrow. Trying to control everything is like trying to hold water in your hands. It just slips away, no matter what you do. This is why learning to handle stress is not about avoiding all problems or keeping every detail perfect. It is about changing how you answer difficult moments. With the right skills and a little patience, you can learn to stay steady, even when things do not go your way. Patience is very important. You do not have to fix everything by tomorrow or even by the end of the week. What matters is that you begin and that you keep going, step by step. Every effort you make, even if it is small, moves you in the right direction. Sometimes you may feel like nothing will help, or that there is too much to handle. But many people in every part of the world have learned how to meet their challenges with more calm. They did not become different people. They simply used new tools and learned new habits. You can do the same. The most important thing to remember right now is this: a calmer, more peaceful life does not need anything extra or special from you. It does not ask you to be perfect. It does not require a secret method. It only asks that you are willing to try, even if you do not know how things will go. You can learn to handle daily stress and problems. You can feel less fear, more confidence, more peace. This is not something far away. It can begin today, right where you are, by taking one step and then another. Each person's journey is different, but all journeys start in the same place, with noticing and admitting that life can be hard and that you want to find a better way. If you have days when you feel lost or weak, remember, this is not a sign of failure. It is life, just as it is for everyone else at some point. No matter your age, your work, your situation, or your history, you can begin to learn new ways to live with more courage and more calm. You have all that you need to start. The ability to change your habits lies inside you, no matter how things look today. Strength is built through small choices and new actions, not in one single moment. Every day you are given chances to practice patience, to notice your feelings, to question your thoughts, and to choose kind actions. None of these things need to be big. In fact, most real change comes from simple, small habits, repeated many times. If you sometimes think the world is too complicated or that problems will never end, remember that you do not need to fix everything, everywhere, all at once. The only place you start is here, with this moment and with the willingness to try something new. It is easy to read words like these and still feel a little doubt. You might wonder if simple changes can truly help when your worries feel very large. But through the years, many people have proved that learning new habits and practicing small daily rituals can create real, lasting peace. What makes the difference is not how hard the challenges are, but whether you are willing to practice, little by little, even when things feel tough. With every small effort, you become braver and more balanced. A calmer life is possible for everyone, including you. It begins with understanding that you do not need to have all the answers now. You just need to take a single honest step toward learning new ways to deal with stress. Over time, with patience, these steps join together and form the strong ground where a peaceful life can grow. Everyone, at every age and in every place, can learn to be more peaceful, stronger, and filled with quiet confidence. You did not miss your chance for a calm life. It is here, as close as your next breath, ready whenever you decide to begin. When you begin to see that a calmer life is possible, you might start to wonder how this change happens. You might ask yourself what steps you can take and how real people in the past have learned to be more peaceful among all their problems and stresses. There have always been men and women who searched for simple, honest ways to live well, even during the hardest times. Some of these people became known for their wisdom. Long ago, in ancient times, there lived a group of thinkers called the Stoics. People like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius gave attention to the daily struggles of ordinary people. They wanted to help anyone who felt weighed down by fear, worry, or sadness. These philosophers believed that peace and happiness do not come from having an easy life. They saw that stress, trouble, and pain are normal for every human being. Instead of avoiding hard moments, they focused on how to meet them with a steady heart and a clear mind. Their idea was simple. You can learn to live well by training your mind and your habits. They believed that every person has this power inside, waiting to grow stronger with daily practice. The Stoics became famous in places like Athens and Rome. People listened to their teachings and wrote down their ideas. not because they wanted praise, but because those lessons made life better. The Stoics looked carefully at everyday life. They saw how people struggle with small and big worries. They noticed that people often argue with each other, feel anger, or get lost in sadness because they want things to be different than they really are. The Stoics asked, what if we use these difficult moments to learn patience, courage, and kindness? For the Stoics, living well did not mean running away from problems. They did not teach people to hide, to give up, or to pretend that everything is fine when it is not. Their message was different. They said that by using certain habits, each person can grow little by little, even during hard days. They taught that the most important thing is not what happens outside, but what happens inside your mind and heart. Seneca, one of the well-known Stoic philosophers, wrote many letters to his friends and students, teaching them about how to live calmly and bravely. He often said that happiness is not a gift from outside. It comes from learning how to control your thoughts, how to act carefully, and how to pay attention to the world around you. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic, became the leader of a great empire. But his words show that even he struggled with pain, fear, and worry. He wrote in his private notes about how to train himself to look at problems with gentleness and patience. All of the Stoic teachers agreed that anyone can learn these lessons, no matter their background, age, or job. It does not matter if you are rich or poor, young or old, famous or unknown. Everyone can begin to build a better life by practicing a few simple actions. Stoicism is not about reading a lot of books or following strict rituals. It is about choosing clear, wise habits every day. The Stoics called this training of the mind and actions philosophy. For them, philosophy was not just reading or talking about ideas. It was a daily practice, like training in a skill. The Stoics believed that three main areas mattered most: your thoughts, your actions, and your awareness. If you learn to guide these three parts, you will find more peace, even when life is difficult. First, thoughts are the stories and ideas that fill your mind each day. Thoughts shape your feelings and the way you see each problem. If your thoughts are always dark or fearful, life feels harder. The Stoics taught that you can notice your thoughts and decide which ones to keep and which ones to let go. By choosing kinder, clearer thoughts, you gain more control over your emotions and behavior. The second area is your actions. Every day, you make choices, both small and large. These choices create your habits and shape your life. The Stoics believed that being kind, honest, and helpful to others was always necessary. Doing what is right, even in small ways, makes your mind stronger and brings respect for yourself and others. Your actions do not need to be big for them to matter. Small, good habits, repeated daily, build a life of real value. Awareness is the third area. This means being awake to what happens inside you and around you each moment. Many people live on automatic pilot, moving from task to task without really noticing how they feel, what they think, or what happens around them. When you slow down, breathe, and pay attention, you become more open to learning from life. Awareness helps you see what you can change and accept what you cannot. The Stoic philosophers shared ideas that were simple and useful for everyone. They understood that life is often busy and noisy. People do not always have time to study complicated ideas or spend hours in deep thought. Because of this, they created brief and practical exercises, small rituals, to train these three main areas. These actions were not big or difficult. Their goal was to make life easier, not harder. Many people who learned from the Stoics found that these practices helped them worry less and grow stronger inside. Their lives did not become perfect. Instead, they became more gentle with themselves, more patient with others, and better able to return to calm during stress. The Stoics said that this ability to return to balance is called resilience. Resilience means getting back up after a setback, learning from mistakes, and trusting that peace is always possible, even when problems do not disappear. The wisdom of the Stoics is not only for teachers, leaders, or people in ancient times. Their advice was always meant for ordinary people who want to live better right now. These ideas fit into any day, no matter where you live or what your life looks like. All that is needed is your own wish to try them and to practice a little bit at a time. For example, Seneca often told his friends to look for quiet time in their day, even if only for a few minutes. In that time, he advised them to look inside and see what thoughts troubled them, what actions made them proud, and what mistakes they wanted to learn from. Marcus Aurelius wrote that each person should begin the day with a calm moment to remember that some problems will come, but they can be handled with patience. These Stoic methods do not need any special material or setting. You do not need special training or teachers. The rituals are flexible, so they fit into busy or quiet lives. Some people use them in the morning, others during the day or before sleep. Each person finds what works best for them. One reason these practices are helpful is that they remind you what is truly important. Many things ask for your attention each day, but not all of them matter in the end. The Stoics help you focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, your own choices, and your own way of seeing the world. This brings real relief because you stop fighting things that are not in your power. The Stoics also teach that real strength is gentle. It does not mean being cold or hiding your feelings. It means facing life honestly, accepting both good and hard moments, and returning over and over to wise habits, even when you fail. For the Stoics, mistakes were not shameful. They were just another place to learn, to try again, and to grow a bit stronger. As you use these Stoic ideas, you might notice that your life becomes more balanced. You do not have to escape every bad situation or wait until everything is perfect to feel peaceful. Peace and strength can grow even during busy, noisy days, as long as you practice these small habits with patience. Another thing the Stoics believed is that you are not controlled by what happens to you, but by how you answer. Other people may act badly or plans may fail, but you still have the power to choose your response. This choice is where freedom lives. Seneca, for example, suffered much in his life, but his writings show he found liberty in shaping his mind and heart, no matter what events happened outside. Over the years, people all over the world have found comfort and courage from these Stoic teachings. Some read them in books. Others hear them as lessons passed down from parents or friends. Many learn simply by watching people who act with patience, honesty, and kindness, even when things are difficult. You might also see the effect of these ideas at home, at work, in public places, or in quiet moments alone. When you choose to act kindly, to speak honestly, and to focus on what is in your power, your days change. Stress and worry may still come, but they do not rule you anymore. Bit by bit, you build a calm heart. Whatever your circumstance, you can take these lessons and use them in your own way. There is nothing too simple to count as progress. Helping one person, forgiving a mistake, taking a calm breath during trouble, each of these is a real success. With time, your new habits become natural. The more you practice, the stronger your peace and courage grow. You may wonder, what if I have tried before and failed? The Stoics would answer that this is not failure, it is practice. Life gives many chances to begin again. Each day is a new start, and every small effort builds your inner strength. Even if you do not notice big changes right away, patience will always help. Sometimes the biggest lesson is simply not giving up. Over time, these Stoic habits form the ground for a happy, resilient life. You do not have to follow every rule perfectly. You only need a real wish to change, the patience to practice, and a gentle faith that new habits will help you grow. If you miss a day or make a mistake, that is not a problem. You can be kind to yourself and begin again. It can be helpful to remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. He wrote that each person is able to shape their own mind, no matter what happens in the outside world. He believed that peace is always possible for anyone who is willing to practice new habits and let go of what cannot be controlled. This is as true today as it was many years ago. Stoic teachings do not remove pain or take away all problems. Instead, they show how to meet difficulty honestly, to use your own choices to build a more peaceful mind. Day by day, as you practice these ideas, life feels less heavy and peace feels closer. You may still ask how to bring these teachings into your own daily routine. The answer is simple. You do not need to change everything all at once. You do not need to be perfect or know all the answers. Begin with one small action. Notice a thought, choose a kind response, pay attention to a feeling, or remember what you can and cannot control. Every little step counts. As you continue, the Stoics encourage you to enjoy moments of peace when they come, and to use stressful moments as lessons. This way of life grows stronger with practice. The Stoics believed that each person is born able to learn this practice, starting with the life they already have. There is nothing extra needed except your own effort and patience. No matter the language you speak, the places you work, or the problems you face, the Stoic path is open. Its main lesson is always this: with steady practice and attention, you can build a mind and a heart strong enough to meet any day. The habits may be simple, but their results can reach every part of your life, touching not just your mind, but also the peace and happiness you feel inside. Learning about the teachings and habits of the Stoics often leaves people interested in knowing what steps they can take in their own lives. By now, you may feel that it is possible to live with less worry and more peace, even during hard times. You might feel hopeful when you discover that anyone can practice these ways, no matter their experience or situation. Understanding this can make you want to know more about what to do next and how to bring these ideas into your days. The Stoic philosophers did not want their advice to be complicated or only for a few people. They paid close attention to daily life and tried to offer help that any person could use. They knew that many people are busy, have families, or face many problems, so their solutions were simple, clear, and easy to remember. Over many years, their thinking turned into a group of small habits and reminders. These are known as the 12 Stoic rituals. These rituals are not rules or strict orders that must be followed in only one way. They are simple actions that fit into your real life, just as it is. You do not need to have special skills or training to begin these rituals. They are gentle, and you can start them at any age. You do not need special materials or spaces, and you do not need to spend long hours every day. These rituals are meant to support you throughout each day, becoming small things you return to again and again. What matters most is your choice to try them and your patience as you repeat them. The 12 Stoic rituals focus on 3 areas: your thoughts, your actions, and your awareness. These 3 areas are part of every person's day, so these rituals can help anyone at any time, no matter where life takes them. In each area, there are practices that are easy to understand and remember. Some of the rituals help you guide your thoughts. They invite you to notice what is happening in your mind, as thoughts come and go all day long. These rituals are about seeing your worries without letting them take over, making space for thoughts that are more kind, true, and useful. When you practice these rituals, you slowly teach your mind new habits. Instead of only thinking about what could go wrong, you begin to see what can go right, and you learn not to believe every negative story in your mind. Other rituals focus on your actions, inviting you to choose kindness, honesty, and patience in the way you treat yourself and others. These are not big changes that require you to act in a completely new way. They are simply gentle reminders that every small action matters. Every time you speak kindly, help someone, or finish a task with care, you are making your life and the lives around you more peaceful. Over time, these repeated actions build up and change the way you see yourself and the world. There are also rituals that help you become more aware of what is going on inside and outside you, moment by moment. When you practice awareness, you remember to pause, breathe, and give attention to how you feel, what thoughts are moving in your mind, and what you are doing. This kind of careful attention is a way to slow down and find calm, even when your day is busy or full of surprises. You begin to notice when you feel tense or sad, and instead of getting lost in those feelings, you watch them and give them space to change. Each of the 12 Stoic rituals is small, but together they create a strong base for a life with more peace and less stress. You do not have to do all the rituals at once. Even one or two can make a difference. What matters is that you give them a place in your day and let them become natural habits over time. The first group of rituals is about your thoughts. The Stoics believed that the way you think influences the way you feel and act. They suggested that you begin each morning by taking a moment for clear thought. For a few minutes, you can sit quietly and think about your day ahead. Ask yourself, what can I really control today? What will I let go of because it is not in my power? This small ritual helps you direct your energy where it will actually help, instead of wasting time and hope on things no one can change. Another important ritual is to check your thoughts for truth. The mind often produces many ideas that are simply not true or helpful. The Stoics taught people to stop for a few seconds when they notice a negative thought and ask, is this thought true? Is it useful? If the answer is no, you can choose to let it pass and put your attention on something more real or generous. This does not mean fighting your thoughts or forcing them away. It just means checking them gently and choosing what is helpful. Throughout the day, you can return to these thought rituals as often as you need. When you feel worry or fear building, you can pause and notice, what am I thinking right now? Is there a better way to look at this problem? Little by little, this practice gives you more space to decide how you want to respond to life. The next group of rituals is about your actions. The Stoics believed that every good life is shaped by small, honest actions. One simple ritual is to do a kind act daily, even if no one notices. This could mean helping someone with a task, listening carefully, or simply speaking with honesty and respect. When you act with kindness and honesty, you not only make other people's lives better, but you also strengthen your own sense of calm and self-respect. Another action ritual is to keep your promises, no matter how small. If you say you will do something, do it. This can be as simple as finishing a job you started or arriving when you said you would. When you keep your word, you make your own mind steady and your relationships stronger. A third action ritual is to practice patience. When things do not go as planned or people act in ways you do not like, take a slow breath and give yourself a moment before reacting. You can tell yourself, I can choose how I respond. This small pause gives space for wisdom and calm to guide your next steps. The last group of rituals helps you build awareness. Many people move through their days without noticing how they feel or what is happening around them. The Stoics suggested that you take short pauses during your day just to check in with yourself. Sit still for 1 or 2 minutes and ask, how am I feeling right now? What is happening in my mind and body? This ritual gives you a chance to catch worry or stress before it grows too large. Another awareness ritual comes in the evening. Before you go to sleep, take a bit of time to think about your day. Ask, what did I do well today? What did I find difficult? What did I learn? This gentle review helps you see both your strengths and your struggles. It allows you to end the day with understanding and prepares you to begin again tomorrow. There is also a ritual for accepting feelings. When you notice strong emotions like fear, anger, or sadness, take a moment to simply notice them. You do not have to fix them or push them away. The ritual is just to allow yourself to feel and to know that these feelings are normal. They will pass in time. This helps you become stronger inside because you learn not to be afraid of your own feelings. Together, these 12 rituals work as a gentle guide for each part of your day. You may choose to practice just one in the morning or use several throughout the day. The important thing is to let them become part of your regular life so that over time they change your habits from the inside. Some people might worry that they will forget to practice or that their lives are too busy. That is natural. It is not important to do every ritual perfectly. Life is sometimes full of noise or surprises, and some days you will forget. But each time you remember even one ritual and use it, you make progress. Every small step rebuilds your habit. The 12 rituals are also made to help when you feel most mixed up or lost. During your hardest days, you can return to even the simplest ritual, like sitting quietly for 1 minute or reminding yourself of what you can control. These actions do not take the pain away, but they help you stand up again and find your way. These rituals are tools that you carry with you everywhere. As you use the rituals, you may notice small changes. You might feel a little less worry when problems appear. You might notice moments of quiet joy, even if your day is hard. You may find it easier to be kind or to speak the truth or to say no. You may begin to trust that even when things are not perfect, you have a way to meet life with patience. Your mind and heart become more balanced, more gentle with yourself and with others. The Stoic rituals do not ask you to change who you are. They do not ask you to hide your worries or pretend to be calm. They offer you a steady, simple way to build peace and resilience in any situation. Each person can shape the rituals to fit their own life. You may use them at breakfast, during a walk, before a meeting, after a mistake, or before you go to bed. You decide when and how. There is no need to rush or to judge yourself. The Stoic way is about gentle practice, returning to your habits again and again, even after you forget or make mistakes. The steady use of these rituals is what grows real, lasting calm. As more people practice these rituals, they often share the habits with others. Parents teach their children to pause and breathe. Friends share reminders to check their thoughts and let go of worries that cannot be solved. People notice how it feels better to give attention to feelings and small actions instead of trying to control everything. Living in this way can change how you meet each new day. Instead of waking with fear or stress, you wake with a quiet sense of purpose. You know there will be hard moments, but you also know that you have tools to return to calm and patience. As this way of life grows inside you, you find more freedom, more kindness, and a stronger feeling that you can manage what comes. If you ever feel unsure or lost on how to begin, remember that all you need is one small step. Try one ritual. Make it part of your morning, afternoon, or evening. Let it become natural, and then add another when you are ready. Over weeks and months, these small changes build a strong path for you and make the lessons of the Stoics a real part of your everyday life. Practicing the 12 rituals does not require perfection or a busy mind. Instead, it only asks for gentle attention, patience, and the willingness to begin again each day. With time, these steps can carry you through troubles and bring more peace, balance, and happiness into your daily life. Gradually, you realize that you do not have to wait for life to be easy or free of problems. You can create quiet and steady strength, starting from wherever you are, right now. When you begin to use small rituals to guide your thoughts, your actions, and your attention, something gentle changes inside you. Even small habits can make every day feel easier and lighter. There are moments when you will notice that much of your stress and worry comes from fighting things that cannot be controlled. You spend time and energy thinking about the past, worrying about the choices of other people, or feeling upset when things do not go the way you hoped. This is something all people share. Over many years, Thinkers like the Stoics noticed that much pain in life comes from wanting to rule every part of the world, even the parts that do not listen to you. It is easy to hope that with enough work or care, you can control everything that happens. Many people believe that they must fix every problem, change every bad event, and always have the right answer. When life does not match your plan, it is easy to feel afraid or disappointed. This feeling often leads to anger, sadness, or worry that never stops. The Stoic philosophers saw how common this is. They did not judge anyone for feeling this way. Instead, they asked a gentle question: what if some parts of life are simply not in your power at all? With this question, the Stoics brought attention to one of their most important lessons. They taught that every day, many things happen in the world. Some things you can change, like your words, your actions, and your own choices. But many other things are not yours to control. You cannot decide what other people will say or do. You cannot change the weather. You cannot change something that already happened. Illness may come. Plans may change. Life sometimes brings loss or trouble without warning. The Stoics said that it is very important to see the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. This lesson is simple, but it is not always easy to remember. The mind wants to fight against problems it cannot solve. The heart wants to fix what is broken or go back to old mistakes. But in daily life, it helps to stop for a moment and ask, is this something I can really change? This question is the beginning of relief. For example, imagine you are waiting to meet someone, and that person arrives very late. You start to feel upset, and maybe you think about what you could have done differently. You might blame yourself, or you might feel angry at the other person. But when you pause and ask, can I control what time this person arrives? The answer is usually no. You cannot decide someone else's actions. What you can control is your own response. You can choose how you use your time while you wait. You can choose to be patient. You can choose what to say when you finally meet. Every day brings situations like this. There are many times when problems come because you are hoping to control things outside your reach. The past cannot be changed. The choices of other people belong to them, not to you. Natural events and strange surprises are not in your power. When you try to control what cannot be changed, you use energy, time, and hope for something that will never happen. This brings more stress and makes you feel weak or hopeless. The Stoic lesson is that you do not have to fight every battle, fix every problem, or make the world match your wishes. You only need to look with clear eyes at what belongs to you and what does not. Your thoughts, your actions, your words, your attention, these things are yours. The rest of the world, no matter how much you want to control it, follows its own path. It is helpful to practice this lesson in small ways each day. When something troubles you, stop and ask yourself, is this in my power to change? For example, when you feel worry about work, ask, can I do something about this problem right now? If the answer is yes, you can take an action, even a small one. If the answer is no, the wise response is to let it go, at least for this moment. This does not mean you do not care or that you ignore problems. It means you use your strength where it matters most. Letting go of things you cannot control often brings a new lightness. You no longer carry the heavy burden of every problem in the world. You remember that you are only one person, and your job is to do what is possible, not what is impossible. With this habit, your mind becomes less crowded with useless worry. You have more space for peace and for things that truly matter. This lesson is often hard to keep, especially when something hurts you or touches your heart. Maybe a friend says something unkind. Maybe you hoped for a different result. Perhaps you worry about the future or regret a mistake from many years ago. In these moments, try the Stoic habit of gentle acceptance. Remind yourself, I cannot change the past. I cannot control what someone else says or does. I can only do my best with what I have now. When you use this habit many times, it becomes stronger and more natural. Your mind learns that peace does not depend on the outside world, but on your response. Some people feel afraid that letting go of control means giving up. But the Stoics did not teach anyone to stop caring or to become cold inside. They encouraged people to act with care, kindness, and honesty. They said you should do your best with everything inside your power, and at the same time, accept whatever comes outside your power. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. For example, a parent can guide, teach, and love a child, but cannot control every choice the child makes. A worker can work hard and be honest, but cannot force the opinion of a boss or the results of the world. A friend can speak gently and listen with care, but cannot make someone else feel happy. The Stoics said to use all your strength, your patience, and your care in your own actions, but to let go of the tight wish to control what will never belong to you. Every day brings a new chance to practice this lesson. When you watch the news, hear a hard story, or feel anger rise, ask yourself, is this something I can change by my actions? If yes, then act. If no, then let it go, even if only for now. Notice the places your mind wants to repeat old stories or create worry about the future. These are often areas outside your reach. Bring your attention back to what you can do in this moment. Sometimes, you may need to remind yourself many times each day. Accepting what you cannot control is a practice, not a one-time choice. You may forget and try to control too much. When you notice this, be gentle with yourself and simply start again. Each time you let go, the habit grows stronger. Try to remember that much suffering comes from expecting the world to go a certain way and becoming upset when it does not. The Stoics knew this in their own lives. Seneca lost friends and lived through hard times, but he wrote about learning to accept what he could not change. Marcus Aurelius had great power, but he wrote that the world often brings events that do not fit anyone's wish or plan. Both men continued acting with honesty and care, but they learned to let go of what did not belong to them. You can use this lesson at home, with family and friends. You can use it at work, in the middle of a busy day. No matter what happens, you can pause and ask, is this truly something in my power? The answer helps you decide what to do and what to release. Another part of this teaching is to focus on your own part in each moment. Instead of wishing other people would change, give your energy to your own actions. If someone does not speak kindly, you can choose to answer with calm or to say nothing. If a plan falls apart, you can make a new plan or simply do your best with what remains. If you feel fear about the future, remember that the future is not in your hands yet. You can only do your best in this hour, on this day. Even in hard times, this habit will give you more strength. Problems and trouble still come, but you meet them with clearer eyes and a calmer heart. You do not lose all your peace when things do not go your way. Little by little, you become more sure of your own path. You can act and you can accept. This is how you keep balance. Accepting what you cannot control does not mean you must like everything that happens. It does not mean you must feel happy about pain or trouble. The Stoics knew that some things in life are hard to accept. What they taught was gentle and real. They said, you do not need to pretend. You only need to meet each day with honesty. Feel your sadness when it comes. Let yourself be angry when it is right. But do not hold these feelings forever. When you are ready, bring your mind back to what you can do. Sometimes people worry that giving up control means trouble will last longer or pain will be worse. The opposite is true. When you stop fighting what cannot be changed, the pain often becomes lighter. Your mind stops spinning useless stories. You begin to see new choices and find more patience. Try this in your daily life. When a problem happens, first ask if you can change it. If you can, take an action, even a very small one. If you cannot, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is outside my power. Allow yourself to accept, just for now. See how you feel when you stop fighting what you cannot change. You may begin to notice more energy, and you may feel more freedom in your mind. Worry and stress become smaller. You begin to use your strength in wiser ways. If you forget, do not worry. The habit will come back each time you remember. As you become better at seeing what is in your power and what is not, you may find that you judge yourself or others less. You recognize that everyone is living with their own troubles and things they cannot change. This understanding can make you feel more gentle, both with yourself and with people around you. The world will always bring things you cannot control. This truth is part of every life. Some days are easy, and some are not. Some people help you, and others do not. Plans work out, and sometimes they fail. By learning to notice the difference between what you can and cannot change, you build a new kind of strength. This strength is quiet, but it grows with each choice. It protects your peace when life brings surprises. It gives you more patience when you meet someone difficult, or when things do not happen the way you hoped. It makes it easier to see new solutions and to act with courage. Practice reminding yourself each day, some things are not mine to change. I give my best to what is in my power. I let go of the rest. You may choose to write this down, or say it to yourself in the morning or before sleep. The more often you remember, the easier it becomes to live in this way. Your life will always bring things you wish were different. That is natural. But you do not need to carry every disappointment or worry inside you. You can let go, and in letting go, find new peace. Each step you take in this practice helps you see your own life more clearly. You come to know which problems need your action and which need your acceptance. This makes your steps lighter and your heart stronger. Acceptance is not a sign of weakness, but a quiet kind of wisdom. When you guide your life in this way, you invite calm and balance, even when the world is loud and busy. You are able to meet both good days and hard days with the same gentle strength. You are not waiting for life to become easy before you feel peace. You find peace in your own response, each and every day. This habit prepares you for the next lesson, because when you begin to accept what is outside your power, you create more space in your mind to see and meet your feelings with care. This is the next gentle step to living a life with less stress and more quiet inside you. It is a natural path that follows as you continue to grow in understanding and patience with yourself and with life. When you begin to accept what you cannot change, you start to feel a kind of peace. There is less struggle inside your mind. You see more clearly where your power is and where it stops. This makes every day feel lighter, and your efforts become more effective. But even with this understanding, feelings do not simply disappear. Life continues to bring moments of anger, fear, sadness, joy, and many other emotions. Some days these feelings may seem small and easy. On other days they can feel strong and overwhelming. This part of life is true for every person, no matter where they live or how old they are. Every day is filled with emotions, and each situation brings different feelings to the surface. You might wake up hopeful, and then later feel worried. Sometimes anger appears quickly when something goes wrong, or sadness comes when you lose something important. Even happiness and excitement may surprise you on quiet days. Your emotions come and go. You do not control when they arrive or how long they stay. Many people wish they could have only good feelings and never feel pain or worry, but the world is not made this way. Emotions are natural. They are a normal part of every human life. You do not need to be afraid of your emotions. You do not need to get rid of them or pretend you do not feel them. What matters is how you notice and respond to what you feel. The Stoic philosophers saw this long ago. They studied life and noticed how feelings often guide choices, sometimes in a helpful way and sometimes not. They saw that ignoring emotions or fighting with them makes life harder. If you try to push away anger, it can come back even stronger. If you pretend you are never sad, you may feel alone with your feelings. If you ignore fear, it often grows inside, little by little. Instead, the Stoics taught a gentle way of dealing with all feelings. Their advice was not to control emotions like a machine, but to learn to watch and care for them. This means that when you notice a strong feeling, you do not need to act right away. You can slow down, look softly at what you feel, and give yourself a bit of space before choosing what to do next. This is not easy at first, especially if your mind is used to reacting quickly. But with practice, this pause becomes a natural part of your life, making each day calmer and easier. Imagine you are having a normal day, and suddenly someone says something that makes you angry. In the past, maybe you said something sharp without thinking, or maybe you felt ashamed for your anger. With the Stoic approach, you pause. You notice, I am feeling anger. You do not need to fix it right away. You simply recognize it is there. You can take a few slow breaths. You might quietly ask yourself what caused the feeling, or wait until you are calm before you act or speak. This is not just for anger. You can use this way for any feeling: fear, sadness, excitement, disappointment, or joy. Each emotion can be noticed. You give space to your emotions, just as they are, without judgment or hurry. By looking gently at what you feel, you learn that emotions change. They can be very strong in one moment and softer in the next. You do not need to believe that you will always feel this way. You also do not need to act as if your emotions are facts that must push you to do something right away. Feelings often rise and fall many times in a day. Sometimes you feel happy after a meal or nervous before speaking in front of other people. Sometimes fear comes when you try something new. Sometimes you feel lonely or left out when you see others together. All these feelings are part of being alive. The Stoics did not say you must be happy at all times or never feel fear or pain. They simply taught that with practice, you can learn to observe your emotions, let them rise without too much resistance, and let them go when it is time. One ritual the Stoics suggested is to spend a few quiet moments each day checking how you feel. During the early morning, in the middle of the day, or before sleep, you can pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? You can close your eyes, breathe slowly, and notice each emotion as it appears. You may feel more than one emotion at the same time. This is normal. You do not need to chase any feeling away or hold on to it. You simply notice, this is here. Sometimes when you practice this, you notice patterns. Maybe your mind becomes afraid when you try something new. Maybe you feel tired and sad when you do not sleep well. Maybe you feel more calm when you walk outside, or more angry when you rush through your day. These observations help you understand yourself more. You begin to recognize which parts of your life bring certain emotions, and you become more gentle and patient with yourself. When feelings are strong, remember that they are not permanent. No matter how powerful anger, sadness, or fear appears, these emotions will move on when you give them space. This is why the Stoics said, you do not need to fight with your feelings or hide from them. By watching your emotions and gently naming them, you reduce their control over you. If something happens that causes pain, try to notice your first reaction. Maybe your body becomes tense, or your mind repeats the same fearful thought. This is common, and you do not need to judge yourself for it. With practice, you pause your reaction for a short moment, just long enough to see what you are feeling. You might even say to yourself, I notice this feeling. It is strong right now, but it will not last forever. Another simple way to care for your emotions is to talk kindly to yourself about what you feel. Instead of saying, I should not be sad, you can say, it is okay to feel sad today. Instead of blaming yourself for anger, you can say, everyone feels anger sometimes. I will watch it and let it pass. This gentle way reduces shame and makes it easier to move through hard moments. It is also helpful to share your feelings with someone you trust. Speaking your emotions out loud or writing them in a journal can make them feel lighter. When you put feelings into words, they often lose some of their heaviness. You begin to see that you are not alone in what you feel. Every person you know faces emotions, even if they do not show it. Each day will have its own mix of feelings. Some are quick and small, others last a long time. By observing and accepting these emotions, you learn that no single feeling has power over your whole life. There is always space inside to watch, to pause, and to decide how you want to answer each emotion. The Stoics also reminded people that emotions are not mistakes. They are signs of being alive, signs that you care about your life. Even painful emotions serve a purpose. Fear can tell you to watch for danger. Sadness reminds you of what you value. Joy helps you see what matters to you. Anger sometimes points to unfairness. All emotions, good or hard, are messages your mind and heart send you. When feelings come, notice if your body reacts. You may notice your heart beating fast, your eyes getting wet, or your muscles becoming tight. Pay soft attention to these signs. Take a deep breath, move your body if you need, or stand still for a few moments. Each person will find what helps them best. Some walk, some listen to music, some quietly close their eyes and rest for a few minutes. Taking care of your body is another way to care for your feelings. It is normal to feel many things in a single day. There is no need to hide what you feel or to act in ways that do not match the truth inside you. Being honest with yourself is one kind of strength. The Stoics said that this honesty is the beginning of wisdom. When you know what you feel, even if it is painful, you can decide the best way to move through it. You may also meet days when your sadness is deep or your worry grows very large. On these days, it is especially important to be gentle. Some people feel tired, others cry, and some want to be alone. Let yourself move slowly. If you need help, it is not a weakness to ask for it. Sometimes talking to a friend, a family member, or a professional can make a real difference. You do not need to face every emotion alone. As time passes, you may notice your feelings change more quickly than you expect. What felt heavy yesterday may feel lighter today. Joy may appear without warning. You become more free inside when you let feelings come and go, instead of fighting them or pretending they are not real. These small changes build up and slowly bring more quiet and balance to your life. If you wish, you can make a small daily ritual to help with this practice. Take a few minutes at the end of each day to sit and think. What feelings were strongest today? You may write them down or speak them softly to yourself. Notice how you answered those feelings. Did you rush or did you give yourself a pause? Did your mind create extra stories, or did you allow your feelings to pass gently? Over time, this ritual helps you see your progress, and you become less afraid of what you feel. Dealing with emotions is part of everyone's path. No one is without fear, sadness, anger, or worry. These feelings do not mean you are weak or failing. The Stoics did not try to erase emotion. They only tried to help people meet feelings with care and wisdom, paying attention, but not letting emotions cause harm. If you practice watching your emotions every day, you become more calm when stress comes. Life will always bring events that touch your heart. Some days will bring sadness, others will bring joy. By noticing your feelings, you give yourself space and kindness. You allow your mind to find gentle answers, even on hard days. Try to remember that emotions are not your enemy. You do not need to be in a battle with how you feel. Sometimes the best answer is to slow down, breathe, and simply wait for the feeling to pass. Other times it is to share your feelings, ask for help, or spend time alone in a quiet place. There is nothing weak or wrong about emotion. Every strong person has felt lost or sad, just as every happy person has felt afraid or angry. You are part of this larger family of people, each with their own feelings and stories. Every new day gives another chance to practice kindness to your own heart. With practice, you become more patient with others as well. You begin to see that the anger or sadness in someone else is not always about you. They are also living with their own mix of feelings. This makes you more gentle, more forgiving, and more open to connection. Through these small, regular steps, you train your mind and body to be steady and calm. You learn that you do not need to run from feelings or hide from them. You become free to choose your actions, even when emotions are strong. The next step is to look at the thoughts that combine with your emotions. Often, what you feel is related to what you believe or imagine. Sometimes, your mind tells you stories that are not true. By gently questioning these thoughts, you will discover new clarity and peace inside. As you continue on this path, each gentle habit grows, helping you face each day with confidence, patience, and more understanding for both yourself and for others. Sometimes what you feel inside your heart is connected to what is happening inside your mind. When you feel sadness, worry, or fear, often there is also a story or a thought behind these feelings. Your mind gives you messages all day long. Sometimes these messages are helpful, but many times they are not true or useful. You may not notice them at first because they can be quiet and fast. But when you begin to watch your thoughts with care, you see how much they shape your feelings and your actions. The Stoic philosophers understood that everyone has many thoughts each day and that not all thoughts are good guides. Some thoughts are old habits that repeat again and again. Sometimes your mind tells you that you are not strong enough or that bad things will surely happen. It may remind you of mistakes you made or create fears about the future. These types of thoughts can create pain, make you feel stuck, and stop you from living your life with peace. When a bad thought comes into your mind, you do not need to accept it as the truth. You do not need to follow it or act on it right away. You can learn to pause and ask, is this thought really true? Is it helping me? This small question gives space inside your mind. You can see the thought, but you do not need to hold it tightly. You become free to choose better thoughts. Suppose you wake up in the morning and your mind says, today will be a bad day. If you accept this thought without looking at it, you may feel sad or worried before anything even happens. If you stop for a moment and question it, you may notice that this idea has no proof. It is only a habit or a fear. You can gently answer your mind, I do not know what today will bring. I will wait and see. This simple action lets go of a story that makes you suffer. This habit works for many kinds of negative thoughts. For example, sometimes you may think, no one likes me. I will fail if I try. Or things will never get better. Each of these thoughts might appear true when you feel sad or tired. But when you slow down and look at them, you notice they are just feelings or guesses. You cannot know for certain what others think or what the future will bring. You remember that you do not need to believe every thought your mind creates. One ritual that helps is to take a few minutes each day to listen to your thoughts. Find a quiet place and close your eyes if you want. Notice what ideas move in your mind. When you hear a negative or worried thought, write it down or say it softly to yourself. Then ask, is this always true? Is there a different way to see this? Yea, many times you will find that your negative thought is not fair or that it is just one point of view. This does not mean you have to force yourself to think only positive thoughts. The Stoics did not teach people to lie to themselves or pretend everything is perfect. Their advice is to see clearly what is real and what is only your mind trying to protect you or warn you. Sometimes you do make mistakes, but that does not mean you will always fail. Sometimes someone does not speak kindly, but that does not mean no one cares for you. By giving your thoughts gentle attention, you begin to see which ideas are helpful and which cause harm. If you notice your mind often tells you that you are not good enough or that life is always hard, you can reply with patience. You can say, "I am doing my best," or "Some days are hard, but not all A's are." This kind way of speaking to yourself makes the negative habit weaker. Over time, your mind learns to create new thoughts that are more fair, honest, and useful. It also helps to remember that the mind sometimes creates the worst possible stories about the future. When you feel anxious, your mind may show you all the things that can go wrong. It tells you, you will fail your exam, you will lose your job, people will laugh at you. Most of the time, these things never happen. Even when trouble comes, you are often stronger than you think. If you notice your mind making scary stories, you can remind yourself, "I do not know what will happen. I will meet each moment when it arrives." This brings your attention back to the present, where you actually have some power. Sometimes negative thoughts come from old pain or memories. You might remember something from your past, and your mind uses that memory to make you worry about today. If you notice this, be gentle with yourself. You can remind your mind, "That happened before, but today is a new day." You are not trapped by your past mistakes or sadness. Each day is a chance to begin again. The Stoic philosophers practiced this habit by writing about their thoughts every day. Marcus Aurelius, for example, wrote in his notebook about his worries and then asked himself if they were true or helpful. Seneca wrote letters to his friends, describing his thoughts and gently reminding himself of what he could and could not control. You can do the same. You do not have to write a lot. Even a few simple words can help you see your thoughts and answer them. Another simple practice is to speak with someone you trust about what is in your mind. When you share your worries or negative thoughts with a kind person, they can help you see things more clearly. Often, other people notice that our minds are being unfair or too hard on us. They may remind you of your strengths or help you find a new way of thinking. If you do not have someone to talk to, you can still care for your own mind. You can say kind sentences to yourself in the morning or at night. For example, you might start the day by telling yourself, "I will let go of thoughts that do not help me," or "I will look for small good things today." In the evening, you might say, "I did my best today," or "I do not need to believe every worry my mind brings." These gentle reminders change your thought habits slowly but surely. It is normal to feel upset when you notice negative thoughts, but you do not need to be angry at yourself. Every person has worries, fears, and doubts. The goal is not to become perfect, but to grow more gentle and wise inside. Each time you notice a bad thought and question it, you make your mind a kinder place. You might also notice that your body reacts to your thoughts. When you think of something scary, you might feel your heart beat faster or your stomach feel tight. When you question or release these thoughts, your body may relax. The mind and body work together. By changing your thoughts, you can help your body find more comfort. A good action when you notice a negative thought is to breathe slowly and deeply. As you breathe, watch the thought, let it come and let it go. You do not need to hold on tightly. Imagine your thought as a visitor. Notice it, see what it wants, and then watch it leave. This habit helps you react less strongly to each passing idea. When your mind creates stories about the future, bring your attention back to today. Remind yourself that you do not know what will come, and that you can meet each challenge as it arrives. If your mind returns to the past, gently bring it back to the present moment. Your power is here, not in yesterday or tomorrow. Another helpful way is to notice when your thoughts are about things you cannot control. If you catch your mind worrying about someone else's choices, the weather, or what will happen next week, remind yourself to focus on what you can do right now. Use your energy for small, present actions that make a difference for you. Some days your mind will be very busy, and negative thoughts may come often. Other days will feel easier. With practice, these habits grow stronger. The more you question and replace negative thoughts, the quieter your mind becomes. You can create a plan for yourself. For example, in the morning, take 1 minute to listen to your thoughts and gently choose which ones to believe. During the day, if a stressful thought returns, pause and look at it with care. Ask, is this true? Is this useful? At night before you sleep, let go of any worries from the day by saying kind words to yourself. Each day is a practice. If you read the stories of the Stoics, you will see that their lives were not easy. They met hard times, big losses, and uncertainty. Their writing shows that their minds also created negative stories and worries. But they found real peace in pausing, looking at thoughts with care, and choosing which ones deserve their attention. When you use these same habits, you help yourself. Your mind becomes a less crowded and more friendly place. Worries lose some of their power. You may notice you feel less tired, more hopeful, and more able to meet your daily problems with patience. With time, you will trust your own mind more. You will know you can question every thought, keep the ones that help, and let the others go. This is a skill that grows with practice. There is no rush and no need to do everything perfectly. As your thoughts become clearer and kinder, you also notice that your feelings change. You feel less afraid, more open, and more steady. You use your energy on things that matter and waste less on old, painful stories. You will be free to act in a way that matches your true values and hopes. If you forget or fall into old habits, you can begin again at any time. The Stoic way is not about being right 100% of the time. It is about returning, with patience, to the habits that bring peace inside. After you become better at watching and questioning your thoughts, it becomes easier to make good choices in your actions each day. What you do, after all, is shaped by what you think and feel. Your actions can build your life into something stronger, kinder, and more stable, one step at a time, with every small, honest choice you make. After you begin to question your thoughts and learn which ones help you, your actions can also begin to change. What you do in your daily life is shaped by the way you think and feel. Your choices and your actions build the world around you, little by little, one step at a time. The Stoics gave much attention to actions because they understood that these choices are where your real power lives. You may not be able to control what others do or what happens in the world, but you always have control over your own actions and how you respond to each situation. Every morning when you start your day, you begin again with new choices. You decide what words to use when you speak. You choose how to treat the people you see at home, at work, or anywhere else. You choose if you will act with patience and kindness, or if you will let anger and frustration lead you. Each small action is more important than it may seem. Every time you do something good, even if no one else sees it, you grow stronger on the inside. The Stoic philosophers believed that good actions are not about doing grand things that everyone notices. Instead, good actions often mean keeping your promises, finishing your work, speaking honestly, helping someone when you are able, or being patient when it is difficult. These are simple actions, but they shape your character and make your mind and heart more peaceful. You may sometimes ask yourself, does it matter if I do something small or good if no one knows about it? The Stoic answer is yes. Every choice you make shapes who you become. Even if only you know about your good action, it is powerful. It tells your mind and your heart that you are the kind of person who tries to do right, even when no one is watching. In this way, your respect for yourself grows day by day. It is normal for people to face days when acting well feels hard. Maybe you feel tired, or someone is unkind to you, or a plan falls apart. You may feel the urge to give up, to answer with impatience, or to break a promise. The Stoics suggested a simple ritual for these times. When you feel upset or blocked, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is the right thing to do now? What action matches my values? Taking this short pause can help you answer stress with calm instead of anger. It is also important to give attention to your everyday duties. Duties are the things you are responsible for, such as caring for your family, finishing your work, or being fair to others. Sometimes duties are not exciting. They can feel boring or repetitive. But every time you meet your duties with patience and care, you build discipline and strength. The Stoics believed that discipline is like a muscle. It grows stronger each time you use it. If you make a promise to yourself or to someone else, try to keep it even when it is hard. This simple habit teaches your mind to trust your own word. Another part of good actions is honesty. When you speak the truth, even about small things, you make life easier and cleaner. Lies and secrets create confusion and stress. The Stoics taught that if you make a mistake, it is better to admit it than to hide it. When you say, "I was wrong," or "I made a mistake," you open the door to learning and growth. You also show others that it is safe to be honest. Kindness is also a very strong part of the Stoic way. Kindness does not mean you must always say yes or never feel upset. Instead, it means you try to act in a way that does not create extra harm. You try to help when you can and to be gentle, even when you are stressed. Small acts of kindness, like a smile, a supportive word, or a simple thank you, can help people feel better, sometimes in ways you do not see right away. Sometimes you may think that your actions are too small to make a real change. The Stoics believed there are no actions too small if they are honest and good. Over time, every good act you do gathers strength inside you. Each action is practice for the next one. When you repeat the habit of honesty or kindness every day, it gets easier to choose these ways, even when life feels hard. You may meet people who treat you badly or who do not try to act with kindness or respect. The Stoic way is not about copying their behavior. Your actions are your own. Even if someone is rude, it is your choice how you respond. You do not need to match their anger with more anger. You can pause, decide not to react, or answer with patience. This does not mean you let people hurt you. If you need to protect yourself or set limits, that is also an honest and good action. It is normal to make mistakes in your actions. Everyone forgets to be patient or loses their temper sometimes. The Stoics taught that what matters is what you do next. If you did something unkind, you can say sorry. If you missed a duty, you can try harder next time. Each day is a new chance to choose better actions. The goal is not to be perfect, but to keep practicing. You might find it useful to set a few small goals for your actions each day. You can decide in the morning, "Today I will listen carefully when people speak," or "Today I will finish my important work before I rest." At night, you can think back on your actions and ask, "Did I do my best? Where can I improve tomorrow?" This gentle reflection helps you notice your progress and keeps your mind focused on what you can do better. Actions also shape your relationships. When you are honest, people begin to trust you. When you are patient, people feel safer around you. When you help others, you also feel stronger inside. Every relationship, at home, at work, or with friends, is made better by steady, good actions. Even if you disagree with someone, you can choose to act with respect. You may sometimes worry that doing good for others means forgetting yourself. The Stoics said that you should also care for your own needs without being selfish. If you are kind to others but never rest or never take care of your health, you may become tired or irritable. Good actions include caring for your own body and mind. Eating well, resting, and giving yourself quiet time are all examples of actions that support your well-being. In some moments, the right action is to say no. If someone asks for something that you cannot give or that feels wrong to you, It is honest and strong to refuse in a clear but gentle way. The Stoics believed that saying no can sometimes be the action that respects both yourself and others. It is also important to notice if your actions help you grow or keep you stuck. If you always answer anger with anger, the habit becomes stronger. But if you practice answering anger with a breath, a pause, or a patient word, you begin to make a new path. Little by little, your actions become more wise and peaceful. Doing what is right is not always easy, especially when others disagree with you or if you feel alone in your choice. The Stoics taught that truth and kindness are worth practicing, no matter what happens. You are only responsible for your own actions, not for what others think of them. You can also use small rituals to help you act better each day. For example, you can start your morning by thinking of 3 good actions you want to do. During the day, when you feel stressed, you can pause and say, "What is the best action right now?" At night, you can thank yourself for the good you did, even if no one else sees it. Some people have jobs or lives that seem full of tasks and stress. The Stoics said that even in the busiest day, there is space for good actions. It can be as simple as cleaning up, helping someone, or being patient in a moment of anger. The size of the action does not matter. The habit of choosing good actions is what brings peace and strength. You may worry about failing or making mistakes. The Stoics said that failure is just another place to learn. If your actions do not bring the result you hoped, you still become stronger by trying. Each honest effort is important, even if the world does not give you a reward. As good actions become your habit, you will notice changes inside yourself. You feel less guilty or worried about small things. You know that even when trouble comes, you have the power to answer with calm, to speak the truth, and to help when you can. You begin to trust yourself more and to respect your own path. When you meet difficult people or situations, remember that you can always choose your action. You can walk away, you can speak up, or you can help. The Stoic way gives you many possible good actions, not just one. What matters is that you stay true to yourself and you act in ways you know are good. Actions are also important when you think about growth and learning. If you make a mistake, you can use that experience to change a future action. If you succeed, you can notice what worked and try it again. Good actions build a foundation under every part of life. In time, you will see that all the small choices join together. Patient words, honest conversations, helping hands, careful work, and moments of rest. All these actions build your life. The more you practice, the easier it is to choose wisely, even when you feel stressed or rushed. When you reach the end of the day, take a few minutes to notice the actions you chose. Celebrate what went well. Gently notice what you would like to do better. Let each morning be another chance to step forward in kindness, honesty, and care. As you keep on with these habits, you become more comfortable with making good choices, even when results are not certain. You also become stronger for the next challenge, such as meeting criticism or failure. No matter what happens next, the foundation of your actions will remain steady, supporting you as you face whatever life brings. As you notice the impact of your actions and build new habits each day, you may also become aware of how other people respond to you. Sometimes people say good things about you. Sometimes they judge you or say words that hurt. On some days, you may find that your work fails or that something does not go as you wished, even when you tried your best. Facing the opinions of others and living through mistakes or failures is part of life for everyone. These moments can bring stress and pain, just as much as any outside problem. It is normal to care about what other people think. Everyone wants to feel accepted and understood. When you hear praise, you may feel proud. When you hear criticism, you may feel sad, angry, or embarrassed. Sometimes just a few words from someone else can stay in your mind all day. You might think about what they said many times, wondering if it is true, wishing you could change their opinion, or feeling small inside. Even when you know in your heart that you acted with honesty or kindness, criticism may hurt. The Stoic philosophers understood that no person can control the thoughts or opinions of others. You are only in charge of your own actions and words. The mind of another person, their feelings and ideas, belong to them. Many times, people will have opinions about you that are not fair or true. Sometimes they judge without understanding your reasons. Sometimes they speak from their own pain or stress, not because of what you did. When someone criticizes you, the first step is to pause before reacting. It is natural to want to defend yourself or to answer with anger. But a Stoic practice is to take a breath and listen first. You can ask yourself, is there any truth in what they are saying? If you find something useful in their words, you can use it to improve. If there is no truth, you can remind yourself that their opinion is only their own. You do not need to accept every judgment as true. Just because someone says something does not make it reality. Sometimes criticism is helpful. When someone gives advice with kindness and respect, you might learn from it. You can say, "Thank you for sharing," and think about how to use their words to grow. Other times, criticism is only an attack or an attempt to hurt. If you feel pain from unkind words, remember that you cannot stop others from having opinions, but you do not need to let those opinions hurt your peace inside. One way to stay calm is to separate what you can control from what you cannot. You can control your own intentions and actions, not the reactions of other people. You might say to yourself, "I did my best. I acted from my values." This reminder helps protect your mind from too much pain when others do not understand or agree. Failure can also bring strong feelings. Maybe you miss an important goal, or your plan does not succeed, or you make an error that causes a problem for yourself or someone else. Failure feels heavy and sometimes makes you question your worth. You may think, "I am not good enough," or "I will never succeed." The Stoics taught that failure is not a sign of weakness or lack of value. It is something natural, part of every life, and a sign that you are trying and learning. No person goes through life without mistakes or disappointments. Even great thinkers, leaders, and teachers have failed many times. What matters is not the mistake itself, but what you do next. The Stoic habit is to look at a failure with open eyes, not with shame or guilt. Ask, "What happened? What can I learn from this?" Each failure can teach you something useful, even if the lesson is only patience. When you face criticism or failure, practice speaking kindly to yourself. You can say phrases like, "This is hard, but I can learn from it," or "Everyone makes mistakes. I am still learning." This soft way of talking reduces shame and gives your mind the courage to try again. If you need to make amends for a mistake, do so honestly. Say, "I am sorry," or "I will try to fix this." Taking responsibility does not make you small. In truth, it is a sign of strength. When you admit a mistake, you show that you are strong enough to learn and grow. Part of the Stoic way is to remember that the opinions and judgments of others do not define who you are. They are like clouds that pass by. Some days people may praise you, and other days they may criticize you. Neither of these things changes your true value. What matters is your own sense of honesty and kindness. If you know you acted from your best intentions, you can stay calm even if others do not agree. Many people carry pain from criticism or failure for a long time. Old words from parents, teachers, or friends may stay with you, coloring the way you see yourself. If you notice these old wounds, give them gentle attention. You can say, "That was someone else's opinion. I do not need to carry it anymore." Little by little, you become more free inside. Sometimes you will find that criticism makes you angry. You may want to prove yourself or to change another person's mind, but the Stoics advise not to waste your energy fighting for every opinion. Instead, use your actions to show your values. Let your daily life be your answer. People may or may not change how they see you, but you will know your own heart. Dealing with failure is also a practice. When you do not reach a goal, try not to judge yourself too quickly. Give yourself a moment to feel disappointed or sad. Allow the emotion, but then ask what you can do differently next time. Every mistake is like a teacher, offering you a new chance to improve. If you feel lost or stuck, remember that most people who succeed in life failed many times first. Every attempt, even one that does not work, builds your experience. When you try again, you do so with more wisdom and patience. There may be times when you feel alone in your mistakes. It helps to speak with someone you trust. You can share what happened and ask for advice or just to be heard. Another person may remind you that failure is normal and you do not need to give up. Sometimes criticism is given in a harsh or unfair way. The Stoics reminded themselves not to let bitterness grow inside. If someone speaks with anger or cruelty, it is better to let the words pass by and not carry them in your heart. Focus on what you can learn, and then let go of what is not helpful. You do not have to answer every insult or defend yourself against every unkind word. The more you practice, the easier it gets to notice which words matter and which words can simply be released. Some days this is hard, but over time this habit brings great peace. On days when you face both failure and criticism, it is wise to pause and take a few breaths. Remind yourself that these moments are part of every life. No one escapes them. You are not less worthy because you did not succeed at first or because someone misunderstood you. If you worry about what others think, remember that their thoughts can change from day to day. Trying to please everyone is not possible. Do your best to follow your own values and accept that not everyone will agree. The Stoics also said that trying to avoid failure at all costs brings its own pain. If you are so afraid to fail that you never try new things, you stop learning and growing. It is better to risk making a mistake than to do nothing at all. Each time you try, you build new skills, even if the result is not perfect. Forgiveness is also important, both for yourself and for others. If someone has criticized you unfairly, or if you made a mistake, try to let go of anger and regret. This does not mean you must forget what happened, or say that everything was right. It means you choose not to keep pain alive inside you. Forgiving yourself brings space for a new beginning. Some days you may have to face the same criticism or failure more than once. This is normal. Each experience is a chance to grow stronger. You may notice that what once hurt a lot now hurts less. You become more sure of yourself and less affected by outside opinions. One way to build strength is to write down your successes and your efforts. Each day you can note what went well, even if it was something small. This helps your mind see the progress you are making. You can also write about your mistakes and what you learned. Writing brings clarity and lets your feelings become lighter. You can practice a small ritual at the end of each day. Take a moment to ask yourself, did I act from my best intentions today? Did I learn from my mistakes? Be gentle with your answers. Notice even small steps of progress. Each day is a chance to begin again. If you must deal with harsh words from others often, find a way to create space for your needs. You do not need to listen to every opinion or put yourself in harm's way. Protecting your heart and mind is not selfish. It is a wise action. Spend time with people who respect you and help you grow, and give less space to those who only bring pain. Remember that praise and criticism are both only opinions. Do not let praise make you too proud or criticism make you feel too small. Your value is found inside, not from outside voices. When you practice accepting failure and criticism with patience, you become more relaxed and open. Life brings many changes, many opinions, and many results. None of these things are forever. What stays with you are your values, your care, and your willingness to keep going. You will learn more from your mistakes than from your successes alone. Each setback is a moment to become stronger and wiser. Criticism may sting at first, but with practice, it stops being a reason to lose your peace. As you move through life, facing both kind and unkind words, winning some days and losing others, the most important thing to remember is this simple truth. Your real peace and strength come from how you live, not from what others say or from how many times you fail. With every new day, you have a chance to continue, to act with honesty, to learn, and to keep peace inside your heart. Each day brings a new chance to use your habits and lessons with simple actions. Every time you pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, how you act, and how you respond to what happens around you, you are practicing the Stoic rituals. You learn these small actions over time, and you use them when you need them most, not only when life is easy, but especially during times that bring worry or stress. Creating a daily routine with these simple practices makes them stronger and more natural, so you can find your balance, even when life is busy or hard. You do not need to find long hours to practice. You can make gentle, small moments for these rituals. It might be 1 minute when you wake up, a few seconds during work or study, or a short pause before you sleep. The power is in repeating the small habits, making them part of your life step by step. You do not have to use every ritual each day. Even one simple action can make a difference when you feel stress or confusion grow. Many people find it helpful to begin the day with a Stoic habit. After you wake, sit quietly for a short time. Breathe slowly and decide what is important for you this day. Ask yourself, what is in my power to do today? What is outside my power? This helps you focus your mind and prevents you from wasting time on things you cannot change. You start the day with a sense of direction and calm. During the day, routines and surprises will both appear. There may be times when stress rises quickly. It might come when a plan changes, when someone speaks sharply, or when you face a task you do not like. These are good moments to use the rituals. You might gently remind yourself, I can only control my own actions. You might pause, breathe deeply, and choose to answer with patience instead of anger. Returning your thoughts to what is true right now can help you let go of what does not help. If you notice a strong feeling such as worry, anger, or sadness, do not rush to push it away or hide from it. Give yourself 1 minute to pause. Close your eyes, breathe, and notice, I am feeling this emotion. Sometimes speaking it to yourself makes it feel lighter. If you have a little more time, write it down. This honest attention helps you avoid reacting in a way that you may regret later. When you catch yourself lost in negative thoughts, use one of the Stoic rituals by questioning those thoughts. Ask, is this thought really true? And does this thought help me right now? Choose instead a calmer or kinder idea if you can. If you cannot change your thought at that moment, just noticing it is a gentle step toward peace. Part of the daily practice is also about acting, not only thinking. Small actions have power. Make it a routine to do a good act each day, however small. Hold the door for someone, clean your space, offer a kind word, or listen with care. If you face a task that feels hard, break it into small parts. Do one easy step first. These good actions, done with patience and honesty, build your strength and make your day feel more steady. It is also important to reflect on your day, even if only for 3 or 5 minutes. At the end of each day, take a quiet moment alone. Look back. Think about what you did well. Notice where you became angry or stressed. Ask, did I act with honesty? Was I patient when things were hard? Where can I improve? This soft review helps you learn from each day without judgment or anger toward yourself. You do not need to be perfect. The Stoic way is about repeating small habits and returning to them every time you forget. You will miss some days, and you will make mistakes. When it happens, simply notice and begin again. Practice is not about being right every time, but about growing as you repeat gentle actions. If you have many things in your day, you can use reminders to help with rituals. You might set a gentle alarm every few hours, or write a note to yourself and place it where you will see it often. Words such as pause, breathe, be kind, or let go of what you cannot control are simple but strong reminders. These small signs help keep your mind on course, especially when life feels busy. If you have children or live with others, sharing these habits can create a peaceful home. You can teach the habit of pausing and breathing together. You can talk about what each person is proud of and where each wants to grow. These small conversations help everyone become more patient, honest, and steady. Some days are easier than others. There will be mornings when you feel positive and strong, and there will be days when everything seems hard. On the more difficult days, use only the simplest rituals. Perhaps all you can do is take one calm breath or notice one good thing about your day. That is enough. Small steps make a real difference over time. During stressful times, when everything feels fast or uncertain, remind yourself that you do not need to rush. You can only live one moment, 1 hour, one task at a time. The practice of slowing down even briefly is a stoic way to return to calm. Whether you are with others or alone, during work or rest, your peaceful habits follow you and support you. If you find yourself in an argument or disagreement, pause before answering. Ask yourself what you really want in this moment. If you want to keep the peace, choose a gentle answer. If you have made a mistake, say sorry. If someone else has hurt you, decide if now is the right time to speak or better to wait until you feel calm. This habit protects your peace and helps you act with care, even during stress. When someone criticizes you, use the practice of separating what is in your control from what is not. You can listen, take any wisdom from their words, and then let the rest pass. The opinion of another person is theirs, not yours. Being calm under criticism is a skill you can grow each time it happens. If you fail at something during the day, speak to yourself gently. You can remind yourself that failure is a normal part of life. Say, "I tried my best today. I can learn and try again tomorrow." This kindness helps you move forward instead of getting stuck in fear or regret. Try to find time, even if it is very short, to rest or to spend time in a way that gives you peace. This might be a short walk, listening to quiet music, sitting in a peaceful place, or simply breathing slowly and deeply. Protecting a little time for rest is an important practice for the body and mind. As these habits become part of your day, you will notice small changes in how you handle problems. Stress feels less heavy. You begin to trust that you have tools for tension or sadness. Your mind believes more in your ability to meet hard moments with patience and wisdom. This trust is not pride, but a gentle knowing, built through the practice of your routines. If you are starting new habits, pick just 1 or 2 rituals to keep every day. Do not try to change everything at once. When one action feels easy, add another. For example, you might first practice pausing and breathing when you feel stress. When it becomes relaxing, you might begin ending your day with a short reflection. Daily practice is also a way to thank yourself. Every time you remember to use your rituals, you are marking your own growth. No one else needs to see it for it to matter. Every gentle habit you practice is a gift to your mind and to everyone around you. A Stoic daily practice also involves accepting that some days will go badly. This is part of being human. Even when you do your best, problems happen. If this day feels like a struggle, let yourself rest. Begin again tomorrow. Remind yourself that all you can ask of yourself is steady effort, not perfection. It is possible to write down your habits and your progress. Some people enjoy keeping a journal. Each night or morning you can write for a few minutes. Today I remembered to breathe during an argument, or I forgot to pause and became angry, but I noticed it after. This practice helps you see growth over time. If you feel stressed by many things you cannot control, write a simple list. Write what is in your control, your actions, your words, your responses. Next, write everything outside your control. Ask yourself to focus only on what is in your power and to let go of the rest. This list can be a guide throughout the day when worries appear. Good habits also reach into how you help others. Each day, look for a small chance to support someone, by listening, by sharing, or by doing something kind. When you direct your energy into small good acts, you help build a more positive space around you. If you live with pain, illness, or very hard days, notice which parts of your routines are most supportive. Some rituals may not fit every day. Choose what helps you and let go of what does not. The Stoic way is flexible. You do not need to follow every habit in the same way forever. Change your routines in a way that feels right for you. As you practice day by day, you move closer to a mind that is steady, calm, and open to learning. Each small step builds into a path, not with sudden change, but with quiet growth. Looking back, even after a few weeks or months, you will notice that you meet stress with more patience, and that difficulties do not shake you so deeply. You can share this way of living with others. When your mind is more peaceful, it helps those around you. People notice your calm and honesty. They may want to learn and practice later for themselves. Your good habits can become a quiet support for your companions, your family, your friends. These daily practices do not make every trouble disappear, and not every day will be easy. Life still brings loss, surprise, and pain, but you carry with you the habits and strengths that help you move through these times. As you finish each day, remember that steadiness and resilience are not things you are born with, but things you build. With every gentle habit, every small good action, and every quiet moment you give to yourself. By making daily Stoic rituals part of your life, you prepare for a calmer mind and a stronger heart. This becomes the starting point for building a life that does not break when problems come. Instead, you become a person who meets each day with patient effort, gentle honesty, and the wisdom to continue, no matter the outside storms. As you keep choosing steady habits each day, you begin to notice gentle changes growing inside you. The way you see the world and yourself starts to become more balanced. Problems do not seem as big as before. You take a calm breath before reacting in anger. When something small does not go as planned, you handle it with patience instead of frustration. These may look like little things, but together they change the way you walk through each part of your life. Little by little, the mind becomes more settled. The thoughts that once raced or shouted with worry begin to quiet down. Old stories of fear or regret are not as sharp or loud anymore. Emotions still come and go, but you no longer feel helpless in front of them. With every day you use your rituals, your calmness does not depend on what the world is doing or what others think. The strength you have now comes from inside, and it is always with you. One clear sign of this change is how you return to peace after something disturbs you. Before, a problem or a difficult moment might have upset you for many hours or for an entire day. Now, even after a disagreement or a mistake, you can pause, breathe, and come back to balance faster. The mind does not become stuck so easily in thoughts of blame or regret. You allow yourself to feel a feeling, learn a lesson, and then gently move forward. Your patience grows stronger as well. You wait more peacefully in lines. You listen with more care to others, even when they are upset or confused. You remind yourself that each person is living their own struggles, and this helps you to respond with understanding instead of quick anger or harsh words. This kind of mind and heart, calm, patient, able to recover, is what the Stoics called resilience. Resilience is not something special that only a few people have. It is a skill, and it is built up with practice, just like anything else you learn. Each time you use a ritual instead of reacting in a harmful way, you make this resilience a little stronger. Each time you remind yourself what you can and cannot control, your strength to return to calm grows. With this resilience, life does not need to be free from pain or surprise for you to be well. Hard situations and disappointments will still come. There may be days full of noise or trouble. But now you have the tools and the habits to meet these days gently. You know how to accept a difficult feeling when it comes, and you know how to let it pass when it is ready. If you make a mistake, you know how to look for the lesson, apologize if needed, and begin again. If someone criticizes you, you can listen, learn what is useful, and let go of what is not. This steady mind helps in all parts of your life. You make decisions with more clarity. You can say no when it is the right thing. You do not need to rush after every wish or worry. There is more space inside for quiet, for hope, and for simple joy. Times of sadness or trouble are real, but they are no longer the center of everything. They are only part of the day, not the whole story. Building this kind of calm mind is not about stopping your feelings, but about making space for them. You feel more, but you suffer less. You understand yourself with more honesty, and you can offer more kindness to everyone around you. This way of living is good for you, and good for every person who shares your life. Other people begin to notice the difference as well. Maybe they ask how you stay calm during trouble. Maybe they feel safer with you because you listen well and answer gently. Your patience, your honesty, and your steady mood become a kind of quiet support for family, friends, or even strangers. Sometimes people learn from your example and find hope that their own life can change little by little. Using these steady habits does not mean that life becomes perfect. Pain, loss, changes, and challenges are still part of every day. But as your mind and heart grow stronger, these things lose their power to break you or leave you lost. You learn that having peace does not depend on anyone or anything outside of you. No matter your age, your job, or where you are from, you can build this strong foundation. You find that you worry less about what other people think. The fear of making a mistake becomes smaller. You know that failure is not the end of your story. Each setback is only a new place to learn and to begin again. Your confidence grows, but this confidence is not loud or proud. It is quiet, like a steady light every day. The more often you use your daily rituals, the easier it becomes. Moments that used to feel like disasters now become just another chance to practice patience or honesty. You keep your word more often. You rest more gently. You respect yourself more deeply. Life becomes less about rushing from one thing to the next and more about meeting each moment with attention. The foundation you create makes it easier to help others too. With a steady mind, you can support someone in need. You notice more about what really matters, and you know how to give your time, your listening, or your support without losing yourself. Good habits make good connections. When you look back after some weeks or months, you may see that you are not the same as before. Your mind does not fall apart so quickly when plans change. Your heart does not hide so deeply when someone is unkind or something goes wrong. You accept your limits with kindness. You trust that you are able to handle each day, one simple action after the other. It helps to keep noticing your progress. Take time to remember how you used to feel in difficult moments and how you feel now. Celebrate each step, even the small ones. If you notice many mistakes, do not be discouraged. Growth is a path of many steps, not one jump. Each day, your practice adds another brick to your foundation. You may find it helpful to remind yourself every morning, "Today I will use the habits that help me." Or at the end of the day, reflect softly, "I faced my problems with patience today. I can continue tomorrow." These quiet words support your mind. Each gentle, honest sentence you say to yourself is practice for your inner calm. When you face a new challenge, a loss, a change, a difficult decision, remember the tools you have. Pause before acting. Notice your feelings. Question your quick thoughts. Ask yourself what action matches your values. Let go of what you cannot control. Act with respect for yourself and others. Even if the outcome is not what you wished, you will be steady inside. There may be days when all your good habits feel far away. On these days, be gentle. Start again with one small action. Take a breath, watch your thoughts, or do one kind thing for someone else. Sometimes, beginning again is the most important part of building resilience. You already have inside you everything you need to continue this practice. The Stoic way is open to everyone, every day, in every place. It does not matter if you are starting or if you have been practicing for a long time. The door is always open to return and to take one more step. You will also notice you have more respect for other people. Their struggles are real, just as yours are. When you pause and wait before judging, when you listen instead of rushing to answer, you become a peacemaker. This is valuable in every family, every friendship, every workplace. Even when the world outside is busy, rushed, or filled with strong opinions, your steady mind becomes a safe place. You trust your own sense of what is right, and you forgive yourself when you make mistakes. This way, you guide your life with values instead of fear or worry. Over time, you discover the beauty in small, quiet moments. Pausing to breathe, taking a walk in peace, enjoying a short conversation, or feeling grateful for a simple act. All these are signs of a strong, resilient mind. They come from a daily practice of Stoic habits, and they grow a sense of well-being that cannot be taken away by outside troubles. If you ever wonder why this steady mind matters, think of the freedom it brings. You do not need to change who you are. You do not have to wait for others to change. You have the power to create calm where you are now, with what you have, only through practice, patience, and self-care. When you keep practicing these small daily actions, trust that you are not alone. Many people before you have chosen this way, and many people in every country and every age will walk this path too. Each person adds a little more kindness, patience, and understanding to the world. Let your habits bring you comfort and courage. Keep returning to your practice, especially on hard days. Tell yourself, I can meet this day with patience. I can learn from each moment. My peace comes from my steady actions and my honest heart. You have seen now how calm and resilience are not mysterious or special gifts. They are possible for everyone. Every person has the right and the ability to create a safe inner place through practice and daily habits. There is no need for special tools, expensive things, or perfect situations. The only thing needed is your decision to take one step today and another tomorrow. With this steady mind, you find that you can greet each new day not with fear or hurry, but with quiet courage and interest. You are ready to learn, to help, to rest, to meet your joys and to meet your troubles, all with the same gentle strength you have built little by little. Every new morning is an invitation to use your habits again. Each quiet pause is time for your mind to refresh. Each evening brings a chance to see your progress with kindness. The peace you build is patient and deep, growing from your inside to your outside world. As you continue, remember that this change is always available. No matter what is happening, you can return to your habits, use your rituals, trust your steady heart, and find your own resilience, one step each day for all the days ahead.